Okay, so 5.3, this is verifying congruence using rigid motion, and this is actually where we're going to combine multiple transformations. Oh, ran out of room. Whoops. Okay, so notice, read this carefully. It says, describe a sequence of rigid motion that can be used to verify that the shaded pre-image, so this is going to be our pre-image, is congruent to the image. So I suggest don't write, well, let's go ahead and write the x and y axis. No, let's not yet. Sorry. I'm trying to decide on the spot. So let's just play with it. So let's see if we reflect it and then move it around. No, that doesn't do anything. So then let's try, what about rotating it? So rotating it works, and then it probably needs to move up. So I want to figure out how much it needs to rotate by. So I'm going to draw the y-axis and the x-axis, and I'm going to rotate. So notice I rotated, so I'm going to move my patty paper. How much did I rotate? So I just wrote the word rotate. So remember, from moving the x-axis to the y-axis, that's 90 degrees. Now you need to decide, did it go clockwise or counterclockwise? So it actually went this direction, so that is counter. And you know, because it would be like going from 12 to 9. So 12, 3, 9, or 6, sorry, 6, and then 9, like thinking about a clock. So it went from 12 to 9. So it went backwards. So that would be counter clockwise. And then notice I'm lined up along the x and y axis. But then it's still not exactly right. So then I need to move. Let me make sure that I drew that correctly. Oops, I'm a little off there. So it should be that line. So be careful of that. So it's actually right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. Hopefully you can't see the top of my head. No, you can. So notice I need to move it up 1 unit to make it line up. So then we also needed to translate 1 unit up. So that's why it's called a combination. It wasn't just a perfect rotate. I also had to translate. Okay, let's do this next one. Let's do okay. Sorry, the stuff is sliding off. So then if you look at that, so if we went, oh, you can't even see because I'm losing my mind, sorry. So if I went from this H to this H, notice I don't need to rotate at all. If it was like this, we would know I need to rotate, or if it was like this, but it's not. So all it did is this point moved from there to there. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it went down 6. Translate down 6. And it moved left 1. So that's all that H is doing, is it translated. Okay, now let's look at this one. So we have the y-axis, x-axis. Let's see. So let's see if it's just a pure translation. making sure that I am not missing any things that I'm supposed to say. So this one would be translate. There's no rotation. If it looked like this, like if it looked like a square, then it would be a translation, but it's not, or a rotation, I'm sorry. So it's translated. Let's just count from this point. So we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Okay, so translate 5 up and left 5. Oops, I'm kind of out of room on this patty paper. Oh, look here, I can go right here in the middle. So here's our original. Remember, pay attention, the shaded is the original on each of these. So I'm trying to get from there to there. Well, let's try rotating. So so I could rotate. So that was, let's count again. So that would be 90. That would be 180. So rotate 180 degrees. And remember, direction doesn't matter on 180 degrees because that would be 90 and 180. It ends up in the same spot. And then we have to move it. So it would be, let's count that point. So there would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So down 4 and right 1. So that's actually got 3 steps to do. Now, one thing about this one is you could also reflect it. So watch this. So I have this one. If I reflect it across, that point would be there. Don't those look the same? So I could go down 1, 2, and over 1. So, or reflect, oops, and make sure you say what it reflected over. So it reflected over the y-axis. So it went from here to here, and that went down 1, 2, and over 3. So down 2, and I said over 3, but it's actually only over 1. It just was like adding. And don't just write over, write the direction that it moved. So right 1. So be careful with your options. Sometimes like an arrow, just because, anyways, sometimes they can rotate or reflect. We would only have one of these options if we were taking a quiz or a test or anything like that. So just remember, you can have combinations of them, like where they rotate and translate, where they just translate, where they just reflect, where they reflect and translate.